Everybody wants the top dogs, and then you also have to think there's top agencies that have more capital.
Hey guys, this is Justin Elias with the Nexus Network Podcast, where we interview professionals in sports and business who work with professional athletes. I'm here with my guy, sports agent Rob Moise with God Game Sports Group. Rob,
what's going on? Everything's good. Everything's good. Can't complain. Good to be here.
So why don't you give us a background on how you got into being a sports agent?
I was a professional athlete to start, and then I was just thinking, what can I do to stay in the sports realm without being the athlete anymore,
Yeah.
And I love business. I love negotiating. I love talking to people. So it brought me here.
Nice. How was that transition?
It wasn't that bad. I mean, the first step, I took the test. I took one of the tests, actually. And I would say that's the easiest part.
Yeah.
I thought I'd hit the ground running, get a $100 million guy. It wasn't really like that, but it's definitely a learning curve. But you just got to stick with it.
Explain to our audience. I think people who don't know, sports agency is probably the most competitive business that I've ever seen. How competitive is it, or what's it like trying to go after an athlete and sign them?
I mean, it's hard. It's very hard. It's a lot of recruiting. Everybody wants the top dogs, and then you also have to think there's top agencies that have more capital, that have more clients. So it's
competing with like Clutch, with Excel, with
any agency you think we're competing with them essentially to an extent.
To an extent.
Yeah, you kind of want to find your niche and find your way of how you want to get your athletes.
Yeah, and you're licensed in what?
I'm licensed in MLB, NFL, and track and field.
Okay. What was the hardest test to get it, or what was the hardest license to get?
Probably NFL.
Yeah.
NFL had a lot of contract stuff on there, so I would say NFL for sure.
So walk us through that. I mean, how I know it's very expensive to be a sports agent. You got to pay a yearly fee for each license that you have, right?
Correct. So for MLB, the fee I believe is 1,250 euros. It's like $1,400 US. You have the NFL, that's $1,500 plus $1,500 of insurance. You have to have insurance. And then you have, what was the other one? MLB. So MLB is around that $1,500 range. I don't remember exactly, but it's around that. And all that's yearly. So after you take the test, you have to stay active. You have to
sign clients, right? You can't just, if you don't sign clients, then you can't keep your license active.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
correct. So like the NFL, I believe is 3 years. If you don't get a client in 3 years, you have to take the test again. And the MLB has either 3 or 4 years as well.
Yeah.
And I get the reasoning behind it. They want to see that you're just active. You're not just paying and staying active as a agent. You're actively working to get clients, but it's hard. You gotta go get it.
It's a grind, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the hardest thing about being a sports agent, you think?
Capital.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have a little bit of leeway, a little bit of money to lose, because you're gonna go recruit clients. You're gonna pay for things to recruit them. You're gonna pay for travel to get there, and you'd be wasting your money. You could be wasting your money.
Just having the capital. What's the recruiting process like?
I mean, it all varies. It's all different. So
Every
like,
sport's different.
yeah. So like, you may get a referral from a coach that a referral from a previous athlete. You may just walk into a Starbucks and see a guy that's 6'6", and you say, oh, "What do you do?" So it's all different. We've kind of recruited athletes in all different manners, from cold DMs to coaches, cold DMs to coaches to I know your aunt. So
a lot of players I feel like will refer other players to you as well, right?
Yeah, if you do a good job, that's like any other business. You do good work and you'll get referrals that way.
And what's it like working with athletes?
They're all different. Yeah, they're all different. So I always say when we talk to our clients or even our team, is like you have to know your personnel. You have to know, what your client wants, what your client needs are. Some clients need a lot. Some clients don't need anything.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of what their needs are and being there if they need anything, but being there for at least what they want.
You and I recently connected at the MLB winter meetings. What brought you out there, and explain to our audience what that is?
So the winter meetings is always good. I try to go every year. It's where most of the baseball negotiations, take place. Everybody's in one place, from GMs, from interns, from people looking for jobs, to brands like bat companies. You have glove companies. So it's where everybody in baseball usually is in one area once a year.
Yeah.
So it's definitely beneficial to anybody that's in the sport to be there if you're continuing to network and continue to build your brand.
Yeah, it's great. Our network had our second event there and meet people in baseball. It's a great place to network and meet people, right?
Yeah, they're definitely there in some capacity. How do you get to them? And
The players are not there.
Yeah.
But everybody in the baseball world, from the agents to the team personnel, they're all there.
Exactly. Yeah, you won't find any players there. They may be around, but you're not gonna.
Maybe the retired players.
You're not gonna recruit anybody at the winter meetings. Yeah.
So do you go to a lot of different sporting events?
I try to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's essential. You know, as you're putting pieces together, you know, when you have an athlete, they may be traveling. You may meet a private jet guy, or, you know, a realtor. You know, so it's definitely good to
Network.
exactly, because you never know what your athlete's going to need, and you're going to want to spend some time vetting certain people out anyways. So it's good to know them and meet them a little bit and kind of start that cold conversation first before you just say, hey, I have a client for you, you know?
Yeah, so how important is networking when it comes to being a sports agent?
I mean, I think it's number one.
Yeah.
Because recruiting is networking. You know, like I have a run club and I've met potential clients from there. Like, oh, I have a son or aunt or somebody that's in some type of sport. So just being out there and showing people what you're doing. You know, everybody does on Instagram, which is great, and TikTok and YouTube and things like that. But, you know, having foots on the ground is definitely going to make it a little easier.
Yeah. And for our audience, too, that's interested in football, either becoming an agent or just networking, you have the Combine, which is a huge event, right? You have Super Bowl, obviously. You have Draft. And that's it, right?
I mean, if you have clients, you have their pro day.
Pro day, yeah.
You know, you want to meet trainers. So finding different trainers because every client is not going to want to go to the same trainer. You know, every client's different.
Yeah.
You know, so you want to see, all right, this trainer might be better at DNs. This trainer might be better at receivers. So you kind of continue to network to see where, when you do have that client, where should they go?
Yeah.
You know?
So our network services athletes, not on the sports agency side, but on the real estate, relocation, concierge, insurance, things like that. What do you think players need outside of the sports agency stuff as far as professional services usually? Like, what's the most important thing that they usually need?
I think
definitely housing when they're starting with a team is important.
Yeah. I think it depends on it depends on where they're at in their career.
Yeah.
So like now, if we have guys training for the draft, you know, depending on where they're training, they're gonna need a place to stay. So like that's minor housing. And I would say minor, but like I would say minor housing because it's not like, you know, they're buying $100 million house.
Yeah.
But I would say minor housing, and that's always needed. Yeah, it just depends on where they're at in their career.
What would you recommend for someone that wants to get into it and work with more athletes? What would you recommend them to do to find more clients like that?
For like a
On the real estate
side?
or any professional service?
I mean, I think trainers could be a good niche just because, like you said, like I said, when they're training, you know, they usually have a package. So a training facility may have a package where it comes with the chiro, the massages, the meal prep, and the housing.
These are guys who already made the team, or these are guys who are potentially
trying to make a team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it's not a $100 million deal, but you can start building a relationship with the client early and the trainer early. So when they do get on a team and they are on their second contract and they are buying that big house, you know, you've been there from when they just came out of college.
Yeah.
And then even college could be good to start networking with some guys because they're making money now.
Yeah. The NIL. What's going on in the NIL space right now?
NIL is pretty big, and it's actually transfer portal time on the football side. So, you know, athletes not getting enough playing time, thinking they deserve more money, finding a good fit, coaches leaving. So there's a lot of movement within like these last 2 weeks to see, you know, where a couple clients can go and just taking it from there.
And are you doing anything in the NIL space?
Yeah, we have a couple clients that are in the portal, a couple on some visits now, and a couple that are happy where they're at, and we renegotiate their contract and they're happy. So like,
Yeah.
it really, again, everybody's different. Like,
What's it like working with a college versus a pro athlete? With the transfer portal too, it's so interesting now because the schools are paying the athletes now, right?
Correct. So yeah, so we come in and kind of be that bridge between the athlete and the school. We don't want it to be any awkward conversations, you know, because they have to deal with these guys every day if they do sign to that school or if they're staying at the school. So, you know, we're in between, and we're more reasonable. Like, an athlete's always going to think they're worth $1 gazillion.
Yeah.
And
some of these guys are getting like millions of dollars, right?
Of course, yeah.
From the schools?
From the schools.
That's crazy.
And the schools are going to say, hey, and I don't want to give you, I want to give you pennies.
Yeah.
So, you know, we come in between, like, hey, look,
No,
like,
man.
yeah, okay, they're going to say they want this much. Hey, school, you know, hey, you guys are saying he's worth a little more than you're saying. And we kind of try to find that common balance and knowing what the rates should be, essentially, you know.
Yeah. Who are you negotiating with, the coach or the?
So schools have GMs.
The GM.
Yeah,
Okay.
schools have
just
GM.
just like a professional team.
Exactly. So, the GMs usually handle the numbers. They talk with the coaches, position coaches, and the head coach on what players they like, and they kind of figure out who they like, whatever. And then it's up to the GM to kind of divvy up the pie, essentially.
Yeah. And do you need an NFL license to negotiate that, or?
With the GMs, no. So you're supposed to be certified as an agent, an athlete agent in the state. So we're certified in different states, and then kind of go. That's kind of like a gray area right now, where some GMs are like, "Hey, I'm talking to Joe Schmo, and he's nobody, and he's trying to negotiate something for his cousin," And I mean, we're certified in NFL, and we're certified at the state level, so we have all the proper certifications. But you should have some type of knowledge base on what you're negotiating. You have to know what the rates are. You have to know your client needs and things like that.
That's awesome. And what's it like being in the track and field space?
Track and field is all totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all.
I mean, obviously, it's not as big as the NFL.
It's not as big as the others.
Yeah.
I mean, I ran track, so it was only right for me to get certified in that.
So is there a league, or is someone, if you're representing a player, how does that work?
Well, you're going to represent them for the governing body is World Athletics, and they're based overseas.
Not in America?
Not in America, yeah.
Okay.
So I was saying it's in euros.
In Europe.
Well, not necessarily a league. It's just it's called World Athletics.
Okay.
And that's like the governing body for track and field. Anybody can be considered professional in track, but are they getting deals? Are they getting into big meets? Are they getting into qualifying meets? So those are things that, agent can help with and help along the way.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what's on the horizon for you and your company, and what are your goals looking?
So we actually have a meeting / dinner tomorrow night to go over our 2026 goals. Just consistency, building. We have a good, strong foundation. We have some good amount of guys that are happy. We still have a couple guys in the portal now that we're trying to close some deals with.
Yeah. Is your focus more college or more professional, or?
It just varies. Yeah, both. Like we have a NFL guy he's training in Washington.
Nice. That's awesome.
Well, he's going to this draft. Sorry. He's actually training in Washington. And like I said, it just varies on the time of the year, like what your main focus is. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you coming on here. Did you want to add anything else, or?
I mean, for anybody that's trying to be an agent, the test is the easiest part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about getting the clients.
Exactly. Like I get a lot of LinkedIn DMs and things like that. Hey, I want to be an agent. What could you? And I take all of them. Like anybody that messages me on LinkedIn, I try to make it an effort to get on the phone with them, even if it's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
To give them a little insight, because nobody really did that for me. I hopped in cold turkey.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. I hopped in cold turkey and had a learning curve. But I would say the test is usually, not the easiest part, but it's the easy part. Like your main focus is clients. Like you have to get clients, you have to keep clients. You can always study for a test and pass it, but if you don't have a client, that's like a realtor that does no deals. You're a realtor.
You just have a license, but
you have a
not using it.
Exactly. So It's the same concept, and that's what I would recommend anybody to focus on their clients.
And like I was telling you earlier, this is a networking podcast. So what would you recommend for somebody that wants to build their network, whether it's in sports or any business? Yeah, find the events and the different places where the people that you want to be like are going. Niche. Yeah, exactly. And the follow-up has to be important. Exactly. I meet so many people, but it's very rare that someone follows up consistently. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And, I mean, that's also comes from, like, people just, I'm going to go to this networking event, I'm going to talk to 20 people. Yeah. And none of them are any substance or you really need them. Not saying you should only talk to them, need them. You never know, though. Exactly. One person can change your business, change your life. Definitely stay in touch. Stay in touch. Yeah, even if you don't need them now, I would definitely, like you said, follow up, stay in touch. Yeah.